The smell of leather chairs and coffee filled the boardroom as I sat across from the executive committee. I was 34 years old, and after 12 years of grinding my way up from junior analyst, I was finally up for VP of operations. But Sarah Mitchell wasn't going to let that happen without a fight. She sat 3 seats down with her attorney present, looking composed, too composed. The HR director, Patricia, cleared her throat. "Mr. Chen, as you know, we're here to address the formal complaint filed by Miss Mitchell before we can proceed with your promotion review." Sexual harassment. She'd accused me of sexual harassment. Then it happened, the moment that changed everything. "Excuse me," a young voice said from near the door. "I have something the committee needs to hear, something Paul doesn't know I recorded." I turned to see Keisha Williams, the 19-year-old summer intern from NYU, standing with her phone clutched in her hands. My stomach dropped. "And who are you?" Patricia asked. "Keisha Williams, ma'am. I'm the intern who's been working in operations this summer, and I've been recording conversations because," she glanced at me apologetically, "because I was scared too." When Keisha pressed play on that phone, the entire boardroom fell silent, and as Sarah Mitchell's voice filled the room, her face went absolutely white. But I'm getting ahead of myself. 3 months earlier, I'd been standing in my office, looking at the promotion memo. VP of Operations. It was everything I'd worked for since joining Meridian Technologies, fresh out of business school at 22. "Congratulations," Sarah had said from my doorway. She was 42, Director of Business Development, brilliant and ambitious. We'd worked together for 6 years. "You deserve it." "Thanks, Sarah. Means a lot coming from you." She stepped inside, closing the door. "You know, Paul, we should celebrate, just the 2 of us. Dinner?" Something in her tone made me uncomfortable. "That's kind, but I'm actually heading home. Jenny's making dinner." Jenny was my wife of 3 years. Sarah's smile tightened. Of course, the devoted husband. It was the first of many invitations I'd decline over the next 8 weeks. The texts started a week later, after hours. Compliments about my presentation skills, suggestions we grab drinks, photos from company events with captions like, "Remember this night?" I showed Jenny. "This feels weird." "That's because it is weird," she said. "You need to document this and talk to HR." I did talk to HR. I forwarded the texts. I was told they'd look into it. 2 days later, Sarah stopped texting. She stopped talking to me entirely. She'd pass me in hallways without acknowledgement. In meetings, she'd address everyone except me. Then Keisha arrived for her summer internship. She was 19, bright, eager, a sophomore studying computer science. She'd been assigned to rotate through different departments. Her first week was in operations, my department. "Mr. Chen?" She'd knocked on my office door that first Monday. "I'm Keisha, your intern for the next 2 weeks. Great to meet you, and please, just Paul is fine." She was a good intern, asked smart questions, stayed late to finish projects, reminded me of myself at that age, hungry to prove herself. I mentored her the way my first boss had mentored me. Clear assignments, honest feedback, open door policy for questions. "You're really good at this," she said after I'd walked her through a complex budget analysis. "My friends' bosses just ignore their interns or make them get coffee. You're here to learn. That's the point." What I didn't know was that Sarah had been watching. The accusation. The email came on a Thursday morning, a meeting request from HR and legal. Patricia and the company attorney, Mr. Dodson, sat across from me. Their faces were grave. "Paul, we've received a formal complaint, multiple complaints, actually, from Sarah Mitchell." My stomach dropped. Complaints about what? Sexual harassment, unwanted advances, creating a hostile work environment. Patricia slid a document across the table. She's documented instances going back 6 months, text messages, late-night emails, inappropriate comments about her appearance. I stared at the pages. This is insane. Sarah's the one who... I reported her to you. I forwarded you her texts to me. "We're aware of your counter-allegations," Mr. Dodson said carefully. "But Miss Mitchell has presented additional evidence, including testimony from other employees who witnessed your behavior toward her." "What behavior? I've been avoiding her for months." Patricia's expression was sympathetic but firm. "There's also the matter of the intern." My blood went cold. "Keisha?" "Miss Williams has expressed concern about your relationship with Miss Williams. Late nights alone in your office, overly friendly interactions. She's worried about a pattern of inappropriate behavior with younger female colleagues." "I was mentoring her. That's literally what the internship program is for." "Nevertheless, we're placing you on administrative leave while we investigate, and we're postponing the VP promotion decision until this is resolved." I drove home in a daze. 12 years. Everything I'd built. Gone. Because I'd rejected someone's advances, and she'd decided to destroy me for it. Jenny held me while I explained. "This is insane. Everyone knows you. They know you're not like this." But did they? In the court of workplace opinion, the accusation was often enough. Over the next 4 weeks, I watched my career disintegrate from the outside. Sarah gave a tearful interview to HR, describing months of uncomfortable advances, how she'd tried to handle it professionally, how she'd finally come forward when she saw me grooming a teenage intern. 3 colleagues, all from Sarah's department, gave statements supporting her version. They'd witnessed me making inappropriate comments, being too friendly with Keisha. My statements? The texts I'd saved? He's clearly trying to discredit his victim, Sarah's attorney argued. The promotion hearing was scheduled as a formality. The executive committee would review the harassment investigation before making their final decision. Everyone knew what that meant. No promotion, probably termination. I didn't even tell Keisha. She'd rotated to marketing weeks ago. Why drag her into this? But Keisha had figured it out on her own. "I started recording after the second week," Keisha told the boardroom, her voice steady despite her obvious nervousness. "Not because of Paul, because of Miss Mitchell." Patricia leaned forward. "What do you mean?"
"She cornered me in the break room, told me she needed to ask me some questions about my experience in operations, about Paul, Mr. Chen." Keisha pressed play. Sarah's voice, smooth and concerned. "Keisha, I want you to know you can be honest with me. Has Paul ever made you uncomfortable? Maybe stayed too close when reviewing your work? Comments about your appearance?" Keisha's younger voice, confused. "No, ma'am. He's been really professional, just teaching me budget stuff and operations workflows." Sarah, pushing harder. "Are you sure? Because I've noticed he keeps you late in his office quite often, with the door closed. That concerns me." Keisha, defensive of mentor. He's helping me learn. He's a good mentor." A pause. Then Sarah's voice, harder. "Keisha, I'm trying to help you. Sometimes young women in corporate environments don't recognize when they're being groomed, taken advantage of. I'm building a case to protect other women here, and your testimony could be valuable." "A case? Against Paul?" If you care about other women's safety, you'll think about what I'm saying, about what you might have seen or experienced that you're perhaps minimizing." The recording clicked off. Patricia's face had gone pale. "Miss Williams, why didn't you come forward with this?" "I didn't know what to do. I'm just an intern. She's a director. But then I heard Paul was suspended, and I knew it was because of whatever she was doing, so I started recording every time she approached me." "There's more?" Mr. Dodson asked. "4 more conversations. Each time she tried harder to get me to say Paul did something inappropriate. The last time," Keisha hesitated. "The last time she offered to help me get a job here after graduation, a real job, not just an internship, if I was willing to be honest about my experience." She played that recording too. Sarah's voice was unmistakable, offering a quid pro quo for false testimony. I sat frozen. I'd had no idea any of this had happened. Sarah stood up. "This is entrapment. That girl recorded me without consent." In a one-party consent state, where only one party to a conversation needs to know it's being recorded, these recordings are legal. The executive committee members were looking at Sarah with expressions ranging from shock to disgust. The CEO, Gerald Thompson, spoke for the first time. "Miss Mitchell, I think you should consult with your attorney before saying anything else."
The investigation was reopened, this time with Sarah as the subject. They found everything. The fabricated witness statements. She'd pressured her team members into supporting her story. The timeline of her texts to me, which proved I'd been the one receiving unwanted attention. Digital evidence that she'd deleted emails that would have exonerated me. Sarah Mitchell was terminated 2 weeks later. The company settled with her to avoid mitigation, but her career in tech was effectively over. The executive committee offered me the VP position with an apology. I turned it down. "Paul, you won," Jenny said that night. "Why would you leave?" "Because everyone still knows, even with the recordings, even with the truth. Half the company thinks there's no smoke without fire. They'll always wonder." And I was right. The whispers never stopped. At the VP announcement meeting, I saw the glances, the careful distance colleagues maintained. Cleared of charges doesn't mean innocent in people's minds. I left Meridian Technologies 3 months later. Took a position at a smaller firm where nobody knew my name or my history. Keisha graduated last year. She got job offers from 6 companies, including Meridian. She chose a startup instead. "I learned something that summer," she told me when she called to share the news. "I learned that doing the right thing doesn't always fix everything, but you still have to do it." I'm 35 years old. I run a team at a fintech company that treats people like humans. I'm good at my job. I sleep at night. But I never mentor interns anymore. I'm friendly but distant with female colleagues. I keep my office door open during all meetings. I document everything. Jenny says I'm being paranoid. Maybe I am. The recording saved my reputation, technically, but it couldn't save my trust. It couldn't undo the months of people believing I was a predator. It couldn't erase my name from the internet searches that still show Meridian Technologies' sexual harassment investigation. Keisha's courage proved I was innocent. But innocence and career survival aren't the same thing. I keep her graduation photo on my desk. She sent me one, inscribed, "To the best mentor I never got to properly thank." It's a reminder that sometimes the people who save us are the ones we were trying to protect. That recording cleared my name. But in corporate America, a cleared name still carries the stain. I'm 35 years old. I was vindicated. I was proved innocent. And I still lost everything that mattered. If this story inspired you to find your own strength, if it reminded you that the truth always matters, if it showed you that honest people can fight back and win, Please like this video and subscribe for more daily stories of truth, justice, and rebuilding. Your support means everything, and it helps me share these lessons with people who need them most.